10,000 francs.
You're not very subtle, but you are effective. I get the
He
point.
approved of us, but for reasons which were subtle, like his verse.
Because there was only a subtle difference in the spelling.
To the point. Well, it hasn't any, practically speaking, but it's refined, it's subtle, it's very unknown.
It's a subtle beauty, an implied sensuality.
Love is the most subtle force on earth.
No subtle way to put this.
And we, his loyal huntsmen, must now drive these subtle foxes from their covert.
Besides, I might lose the 10,000 francs.
You're not very subtle, but you are effective. I get the point. Yes, I have the letter.
And I trembled for him. He approved of us, but for reasons which were subtle, like his verse. Approval such as his could vanish.
It's an easy mistake to make, because there was only a subtle difference in the spelling.
Communists too. Subtle. Very subtle for a cost.
Possible. So are your fingers. I don't see the point. Well, it hasn't any, practically speaking, but it's refined, it's subtle, it's very unknown. You must order me some.
Yes, she's beautiful, but it's a subtle beauty, an implied sensuality. I mean, what is your first impression of Audrey?
Love is the most subtle force on earth.
I have some news. There's no subtle way to put this. Mark Watney is still alive.
To seat the king can brook no longer. And we, his loyal huntsmen, must now drive these subtle foxes from their covert.
Yes. It's not a subtle point that you're making.
Okay, then.
That's right, he's technically alive.
Seems a little sophisticated for them. These are not subtle guys.
There's more to this whole thing than you think, Mace.
You want to be a little bit more subtle about that, don't you?
Yeah, but loving so much.
The mutations were subtle at first. More extreme as...
I bought the Advocate. I use my money and my influence in very subtle and quiet ways to do what I can.
So you think that backing...
As though it were true. As though the subtle but swift changes Anne made in our daily life made me happy, too.
Dagger, there's lot, don't it? Oh, yeah, driving a bright yellow Range Rover. Very subtle.
You two calm down.
What did you expect?
I'd hope for something a little more subtle.
Perhaps you'd prefer one of our local brothels.
It's not very subtle, but neither's blowing up a whole school now, is it? Talk about your suicide.
400 East Street.
I wonder what subtle form of manslaughter is next on the program. Am I to be dropped into a vat?
And less patient students, we recommend a subtler and more economic ploy.
Light, frothy, with kind of a fantastic, subtle kind of...
Tangy.
Simplest version of the idea in order for it to grow naturally in your subject's mind. It's a very subtle art. So what is this idea that you need to blow?
Can I try that again? I'm gonna be a little more subtle. Ready?
The second ring is far more subtle in its operation. This ring is headed by Godfrey
I was?
Yeah.
I thought I was being smooth and subtle.
No, you're pretty forward.
You were pretty forward asking me to the bar.
Missy! Acid, on the other hand, can be used for such wonderfully subtle shading, such delicate and...
They are so intricate. The mistakes they make are so subtle that very often a human being...
That wasn't designed to make me feel good. That's a kind of a not too subtle intimidation, and I get...
Two guys, not very subtle. They're not going to be very subtle from now on. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
So get rid of them.
Literature knew these signs. They were not subtle and were not meant to be. They were more than a simple snap.